Please give a big round of applause for Apple Juice.
Good evening. I've actually performed in this room once before, and it was I do poetry, and well I sometimes do rapping, but it's poetry. Now it's poetry then. It was actually at staff work do, and it was people I worked with and also people who were potentially giving me some more work, and we'd all had a few drinks. They asked me to do something, and I chose to do a piece that I've got that's called Castration Takes the Edge Off. And I didn't get the job after that. But I'm not going to do that one tonight. So it's a new one, in the spirit of the new writing. It's called Exterminating Texts and Terminal Ecstasies. Just get this right. And by the time I finally dropped these sentences, lots of the references may have slipped into obsolescence. Nevertheless, the crux of the message won't have lost its relevance. It crosses reflections on literary observations which cross-reference seagulls, albatrosses and pelicans, with comments on popular press impressions of the quality of sardines tossed in their general direction from vessels, jetties, deckings and engines. The extent of the projection and self-selection jettisons any further reflection, broader objection, reconstituted conception or rejection of their fallacies which are more pathetic than Alfred Lord Tennyson's, or the plot lines of Alien Resurrection. Big up Terminator X, I'm busy exterminating texts and terminal ecstasies, cursing the effects of the disturbing memories which are constantly circulating and certainly vexing me. A bit like urban dating, returning texts with discretionary pauses and waiting for replies whilst percolating herbal remedies. It's all a bit contradictory, like being on Facebook, but having your landline ex-directory. I am aware of a vast variety of shortcuts and fascinating sidetracks. This is a class society which slams the door shut, and whilst they're exaggerating crime stats and evaporating ice caps, I'm exacerbating Gantt charts and elaborating mind maps. Hardly likely, I'd rather rap over natty beats with exasperating hi-hats, staggeringly productive, even when I'm procrastinating in a dry patch. The hassle is all part of the hustle. The tassels are part of the muzzle which hosts the predicate. Big up all the socialists in Connecticut, but not the noticeably effeminate vocalists who boast that they're celibate, wearing skinny jeans and all the other silly scenes so self-referential, they're mostly irrelevant. Mirroring but not commensurate with the synthesis of villainous individuals who lead us. You see, all political leaders are tyrannous, at least somewhat recidivist, oblivious to the impact of their previous silliness. So a little punishment would be well deserved, like Joseph Zuma exhibiting the symptoms of syphilis. If I must be chasing chimeras, I'd rather be stuck in an omnibus with Mr. Snuffleupagus stuffing his esophagus with fluffles and koftas, gruff and monotonous, yet softly adopting an unsolipsist understanding of the world. It may be a little harder. It may start with Anna Cantavada. There are so many experiences to notice, appearances to process. I must rise from the bed, apply the liniment. Which part of destiny is essential? And which contingent upon my capacity to overcome interference and infringement? Am I on my way to fulfilling my potential? Or simply a humble scrivener with a tendency to be tangential? Quirky connections, like a duck-billed platypus, or mergers between steelworkers and amicus. So many of these statues, when you squint, just appear as phalluses on a plinth, Blank canvases can be filled by an absolutely fabulous synth. It makes you tremble and twitch like the fatuous flinch of an uneasy bachelor's clinch with a vacuous nymph. I used to want to be like Atticus Finch, until I learnt about the handles on which the cases of barristers actually hinge. So I became a servant to rhyme, and stride as my client directs, hoping to resemble and reassemble the world as a giant text, compliant to my methods, but defiant in the effects. I reach for the papyrus and write like I'm ravenous, like urban foxes and other scavengers, rooting through discarded packages, abandoned napkins and sandwiches, wearing jumpers stinking of hummus, staring at numbers on blinking computers, walking around with football on the brain, chatting with janitors about the failures of various championship managers. It's all in the game, offering opinion and apportioning blame, whilst working the cue ball in a snooker hall or shooting pool in the Globe in Morning Lane. Like I said, I'm ravenous, and thinking about ordering frankfurters beside the usual fry-up, trying to come up with ideas to reach the youth in case the supply teaching dries up. You need to work a little harder to pinpoint my every reference and designation within a multiplicity of viewpoints. No single point of view can be the complete truth, though perhaps some are definitely deserving of elevation. Thank you very much.